Hello there, I'm Gregor Sutty. Welcome along as I show you how to set up a CI/CD pipeline in Azure DevOps. For this example, I'm going to deploy a .NET MVC web application into Azure, and I'll be using Visual Studio 2017 along with a Git extension for Visual Studio and of course Azure DevOps. Now I'm going to create a demo project. I'm going to create this project as private. I'm just going to click Create Project. Now that the project is created, I'll switch to Visual Studio and I'll create a brand new MVC C# project. Now that the project is created, I'll add this to source control, and for this I'm going to add it to Azure Git repos. Just before I go any further, let me introduce the Git extensions for Visual Studio. So I've got to Tools, Extensions and Updates. I've installed this extension here, GitHub extension for Visual Studio. So this is what I'm going to use for Git within the Visual Studio project. I'm just going to choose Add to Source Control and then select Git. Then when you get this option, I want to publish Git repo. Now I'm just waiting for it to connect to my Azure DevOps project. And then I click Publish Repository. Now that that's loaded, let's look back in the project at repos. And there we go. So now we can see that our solution has been added to Azure DevOps. You can see all of the code in here. So let's switch back and let's go to Pipelines, Builds. At this moment there's no build pipelines, so let's go ahead and create one. Within this screen I normally choose the Visual Designer. So it's going to ask me to select a source. It defaults to the correct place. I'm just using master branch. I'm not actually going to do any branching at this moment in time. At this point you need to select a template for the job. So I'm just going to choose an Azure web app for ASP.NET. Seeing as though it's a ASP.NET C# MVC web application that I want to deploy to Azure. Okay, so this screen's got quite a lot of information on it. So basically it's going to use NuGet. It's going to do a NuGet restore. It's then going to try and build the solution. It's going to run any of the tests within the solution. It's going to try and deploy it, publish it, and then publish the artifacts. I'm not interested in deploying it at this moment in time, so I'm actually going to remove this step. So you can just right click and then do remove selected task. Okay, so the most important step here really is where it publishes. The publish artifact drop step is basically going to publish the build to this folder called drop. So I'm just going to keep the same settings. I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to choose save and queue. The agent pool is where the agent is set up to run, and I'm just going to stick with the default of hosted Visual Studio 2017 and then click save and queue. And as you can see up here, the first build has been queued, so let me click on that now. So the agent for the job is now connecting, and the build is kicked off. So now it's checking out the code from my Git repo. Now it's doing a NuGet restore, so it's restoring all the NuGet packages on the build server. Now it's building the solution. Now it's running the tests. Now it's publishing the symbols path. And now it's publishing the artifacts to the drop folder. And we have a build. Let's tell you that the build's complete. Build. Let's have a look at the summary now. So the summary basically says there's no deployments. The build artifacts have been published to this file container. There was 2 warnings. There was no test assemblies found. Let's also have a look at tests. So basically there was no tests found, which is fine. I don't think there are any tests in this project. Go back to builds. You'll see the details of the build here. If we want to edit this build pipeline, we can just go choose edit here. And if I wanted to change this to be an automatic build, so that when I change some code, it will automatically trigger a build, I can just go into triggers. In fact, it's already on. So if I now make another change, it will automatically make another build. So let's just do that. Let's go back to builds. There's only one build at the minute. Go back to Visual Studio. Let's just make a change. Let's go to the home. Let's go to the index. And we'll add a p tag in. So I click save, and if I go back to Team Explorer, go back to changes, there's my one change. So if I want to view those changes, I can do that. I can compare with unmodified, and that will show me the differences between the original version and the new version. So I want to commit this, so now I need to give it a commit message. And then if I want to commit and sync, so that'll basically just push this straight up once I've committed it. Choose that. And if I go back to DevOps, this should queue a new build for me. And there we go. So you can see the one new build. Let's just click on that. Let's go into that build. So once again it's connecting to the agent ready for the job. And now it's doing the build. Done. There's a summary for this build. Go back to builds, you'll see 2 builds.